welcome to What's Up Ocala. I'm your host, Andrew Praber, and today we are talking about how you can get that vacant lot beside you, behind you, or attached somehow to your property, and you can actually purchase it, maybe. So let's talk about how to do that. So a lot of people have noticed that there are vacant lots maybe behind them, or they're attached to the property somehow, and nobody really seems to have it up for sale, and they're just really not sure how they can get a hold of somebody to go ahead and purchase it so that they can have a larger lot, more room to play, or can maybe just make sure that there's not an investor that's going to come in and purchase it and build another house there. They just want some extra room. Well, that's definitely possible, and I'm going to show you how. How do you find out, first off, who owns it or how to get in touch with them? Here are some of the tricks that we use as real estate agents to go ahead and get that information. First and foremost, we contact the county property appraiser's office, and there's normally a website where you can do a real quick basic search on the property itself. If it's not really showing up or you're not really sure how to find it, if it's attached to your property, go ahead and look yourself up. If you've ever paid your tax bill online, then you'll see how easy it is to use either the Marion County or Citrus County Property Appraiser's website in order to do that. Here in Marion County, they actually have an app for your phone, so they make it super easy to go ahead and pay your bill and find out information in regards to what is on your bill or information about your property, just all sorts of stuff. So if you are looking, maybe you're using a desktop computer, that's perfectly fine. Feel free to follow along. And what you do is go to the, we're going to use Marion County, for example, because most of our listeners are here in Marion County, Florida. So what you do is go to the Marion County Property Appraiser. You can feel free to Google that. It's not a problem. It pops up real quick. Make sure that you got Florida, though, not Indiana or one of the other states that has a Marion County of its own. Once you do, you're going to do a real quick search. And when you go ahead and search, find your own, go ahead and put your own name or maybe your address in. Once you find your property, you're going to go ahead and do a map search or look your property up on the map. As you're looking at the map, you'll notice that there are other properties around you, and you can even see their lot lines and so forth. When you click on that property that you're interested in purchasing or would like more information about, you can go ahead and get that information. Normally it either pops up or it's over on the right hand side, and it'll have the name of the person that is responsible for paying the tax bill. It may even have their home address listed right there. With that information, you can go ahead and send them a letter and just let them know that you are possibly interested in purchasing their vacant lot in whatever town. Keep in mind, a lot of times, especially with investors, they may have vacant lots that they own all over the world. We never know. So make sure that you're very specific as to which property it is that you're interested in. If it doesn't happen to have a street address, you can use the property ID number, which is normally at the top left-hand side of any property card. That site that you're on that shows all of your information, that's your property card. So once you look at that and share that information with them, or give a rough guess or estimate of what you think the property mailing address will be. Normally with vacant lots, they don't have those. But you can go ahead and share that information with them, let them know basically where it is, what it is, and what you would like to do about it, essentially. Once you do that, you should hear back from them if they are interested in you purchasing their property. Now, what if you want to do one step further? Or maybe you are thinking that they have the property up for sale. You could go ahead and take that same information and go to realtor.com, and you can look up to see if there's any vacant lots in your area, and it will show you all the vacant lots that are currently on the MLS. What if you've gone ahead and sent them a letter and you've heard absolutely nothing back? Maybe they don't want to sell, but you really want that property. Well, maybe you go ahead and give them a call. How do you get their phone number? It used to be that we had phone books. You remember those? The big old huge clunker phone books. The yellow ones were for businesses and the white ones were for people, or the people pages, or whatever, the white pages. Well, there's now a website called whitepages.com, and for free or small fee, you can go ahead and put the person's name that is responsible for that tax bill into White Pages, along with the area that they are living in. Normally it has their mailing address, and that will actually give you their most recent known phone numbers and sometimes even an email address. So you can reach out and say, you know, I hate to bug you, but I would really like to talk to you about selling that property to me. That might get more of a response than just a letter, because right now there are so many people that are doing those wholesale deals, and whether they are able to purchase or not, they still send out thousands of letters every single month to random people just asking if they were interested in selling their property. So your letter, your legitimate letter, your sincere desire to purchase that vacant lot may have gotten lost in the hordes of those wholesalers sending out notices. I'm sure if you live anywhere in our area or all across the nation, really, if you own any property, you've probably gotten multiple letters over the last few years from wholesalers saying, I would love to purchase your property. Now, is that legitimate though? Well, it is legal, but actually they are not normally going to purchase your property. They're going to put a contract on it, and then they're going to contact a realtor and say, hey, I have a contract on this and it's actually worth far more, so I would like to kind of basically split the difference. So if you'll bring a buyer over here to purchase this house that I do not own, then I will go ahead and pay you a commission for doing so. Or maybe your buyer, because they're getting a deal even at this price, if we're actually purchasing it. So it's kind of hard to explain. And again, this is legal, although I definitely find it kind of scammy. Why do I find it scammy? They don't own the property, and they have gone to somebody and said, I'm going to purchase your property, with no intention or means of doing so. If you have to lie to get something, it's a scam. It's wrong. It's just straight out, it's wrong. Now, there are at times companies and investors that will throw a lowball offer out there with every intention of possibly buying it themselves, and they end up maybe, selling the property to somebody else and almost immediately. But again, they have the ability to purchase. I'm not talking about those necessarily. I'm talking about the ones that have no ability on their own to purchase this property, but they say that they are, and that they say that they will, and then they immediately attempt to sell it to somebody else at a higher price in order to pocket the difference. If you're making tens of thousands of dollars on somebody else's property, that's just, it's just not right. You're not doing a service for them. You're not selling the property for them. You're selling it for yourself, and you don't own it. That's just not right. It's just not right. So, as far as those that are doing that, I don't know how you sleep at night. I really don't. Shame on you. Basically, just shame on you. I really hope that you will find something else to do with your time. The ones that are the most affected from this that I've seen are those that are in a difficult position. Maybe they need to sell the house right away. Maybe they have health concerns or family concerns or something like that. They're in a very difficult position. They are unaware what the true value of their home is, and so they fall victim to this kind of scheme. I am sincerely hoping that there will be laws written in Florida in the not too distant future that will ban this kind of activity. Any of our agents here have come across wholesalers that of course are coming to them with these deals. And one of the main things I've noticed is that they do not want you talking to the sellers in any way, shape, or form. And they will actually, if you go to the property to look at it for a buyer, they will kind of stand in the way of you and the seller and will threaten you if you even attempt to say hello to the seller, because they're scared that you will actually out them and let the seller know what's truly happening. That's not my job. That's definitely not something I do, but it's not because I don't want to. It's just that I was never asked for my opinion. I was never involved in the transaction. I can't do that. It's legally, they tie my hands essentially. So it's a very difficult position to be in, knowing that you're seeing the seller being taken advantage of. They may lose $50,000 on the sale of their home to this individual, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's very, very uncomfortable. If you are in a situation like that, before you sign a contract with somebody, please contact a few different realtors. Ask them truthfully what the house that you're trying to sell is worth, or what the property value truly is. Please, I beg you to please do this, because it is incredibly important. These wholesalers are taking advantage of people, straight out. So if you do get those letters and they're saying that they are going to purchase your property and it's lower than you considered that your house was actually valued at, or your property was actually valued at, get a couple other opinions, please. It's not going to cost you anything normally to get another opinion. Some of them will even do it over the phone. So contact a few realtors. You can probably find a real estate agent anywhere that will be happy to share a quick CMA, which is a comparative market analysis, with you. If you are anywhere in Florida, please contact us. We will be more than happy to send you a free comparative market analysis. In fact, our website offers them for free. You just type in your address and there you go. It's immediately emailed over to you. So again, if you're even considering selling, please get a few different opinions as to the value of your home before you go into a contract with somebody that sent you a letter saying that they're going to purchase it. Also, a huge note is to check to make sure that the person is actually able to purchase it financially. So get a proof of funds. That is perfectly reasonable to request a proof of funds. That's a bank statement with their name on it that shows that they actually have the funds more than sufficient to purchase the home, because of course there's closing costs and all sorts of stuff involved. So if you can get that from them, maybe a pre-qual letter. And also, if it's a cash deal, if they're actually going to pay cash for the deal as promised, there's no reason for a delay. You can do a cash closing in as little as a week to 2 weeks. So for them to delay for a month or 2 months to actually do the closing, that's a huge indicator that there's something else going on normally, and that they are trying to sell the contract. They can't sell the house, but they're selling their interest in the contract. So basically, who you sign the contract with, the name will change on the contract to somebody that's going to be paying them more for it. So it's really, really interesting what people come up with. I know there are several states throughout the United States that are coming up with laws to ban this, but legislation takes a while. So please don't fall victim to this scam, I beg you. Please contact a few real estate agents that you know, you trust, you've heard of before, something like that, because these people are not real estate agents. They have no licensing normally in any way. They are just people that have decided to make a quick buck. You can definitely see TikTok videos and YouTube videos of people bragging about how much they are getting through this scenario. So, okay, so we're going to talk about the stats, or as my husband says, the boring part. These are the new listings that have come up in the last 7 days here in Marion County. Again, these are the residential new listings. Here in Marion County, we have 234 new listings that hit the market, so we had a pretty busy week. Active listings, and that's how many are currently sitting on the market, that's up considerably. It's 2,579, so it is definitely taking longer to go under contract for these homes. 57 price increases, and that's actually significant. We've only been in the 20s or 30s here for a while. Price decreases were at 330. So because prices are fluctuating, people are having to definitely make adjustments as we go along, because the market is definitely fluid right now and kind of changing every day. So those price decreases, though, that's significant. That's 330 price decreases out of 2,579 listings that are on the market. That's incredible. Back on the market, we had 60. So there was quite a few that came off the market for some kind of issue. Maybe there was something that the seller needed to fix, or maybe it was the buyer had financing issues or whatever. But for whatever reason, houses that had gone pending have come back to the market. Sold, we had 130. Pending, we had 239. So it was definitely a busy week in real estate this week. Cancellations, we had 39 canceled listings. So that's quite a few. We also had 10 expired listings, which is a pretty low number. Temporarily off the market, we had 16, which is interesting. Normally, we don't have quite that many temporarily off the market unless it's a holiday or something like that coming up. Withdrawn, we only had 4. We had 4 actual withdrawn, so maybe they just did cancellations outright. The average home price here in Marion County for residential homes is $255,000. The national average interest rate for a 30-year fixed, of course, that is fluctuating, and we might get an increase yet again. But right now, for a 30-year fixed, national average interest rate is 6.9%, so just slightly under 7%. But as we were talking about in a few weeks ago, the 15-year, if you qualify for a 15-year mortgage, that's definitely the way to go. The interest rate is much lower. It's at 5.41%. So definitely check into that with your loan officer. Having a local loan officer that you know and trust is key to having a very good real estate transaction. Of course, there's nothing wrong with checking numbers and stuff online and going into some of these national companies, but to get that true hand holding and that really good experience, I wouldn't do anything but recommend a local lender. They of course have national companies backing them. Some that I like are Truist, Prime Lending, Guaranteed Rate. These are some local lenders in the community backed by large companies, nationwide companies. So look into those. All right, it's that time of year. Welcome back. We are now coming into strawberry season. I know it feels like it's way too early, but Brown's Farm actually already has strawberry fields open. If you want to do some you-pick strawberries, then you can stop on over there. Even today and tomorrow, it's 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. They did have a few of their strawberry fields get damaged because of the frost that we had not too long ago, but they are open for business and the fields are ready. So if you want to go and pick your own strawberries, I think this weekend is going to be fantastic for that, don't you? If you want to stop out and see an oldie but a goodie, they've got The Princess Bride playing over at the Marion Theater, and I am just so incredibly excited about that. It's a fantastic movie. It is over generations. It's just been absolutely a fantastic movie to watch. So love that, and seeing it on the big screen. It's actually going to be my first time seeing it on the big screen tonight. I'm actually going to stop out there and see that. I've always seen it on DVDs or Netflix or whatever. You know, it's always been at home. So I'm really excited to see that. They also have Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and they have some other wonderful movies as well. You can check that out at RileyArtsCenter.com. That has all sorts of information on that, as well as the dueling pianos they have coming up. So if you want to check out what's coming up, check out RileyArtsCenter.com, and that will go into, of course, the Riley Arts Center, their main auditorium, as well as the Black Box and the Marion Theater. So lots of information over there. We have Homeschool Wednesday still going on at Brick City Park. If you are a homeschooling parent, definitely look into that. It's through the Marion County parks, and I believe City of Ocala parks as well. But you can actually check into some PE and art programs that they have available. So it just kind of helps even everything out with their education for these kids. The ages are just school age kids. It even goes all the way up to high school, which is phenomenal. The fee for this is as little as $5 to $20, depending on what activities they're doing and the cost involved with that. But it's really great. I know my daughter Lexi went out to that many times while she was in middle school. And it kind of helped to see that there were a lot of other kids in the community her own age that were also homeschooled. And it helped to chit-chat with some of the other parents that were homeschooling as well. So it's a really great community feeling. Even though your child is homeschooled, it does not matter. They are not by themselves. They still have a community here in Marion County. And I'd have to say, living in other places and being homeschooled growing up myself, it is absolutely amazing all the wonderful things that Marion County provides to homeschooling parents and to children here. So I have to give kudos where it is due. The Marion County schools have a whole division set aside for homeschooling. And that's not just homeschooling by itself anymore. Like our daughter Lexi is actually doing half and half. So she goes to do her core classes online, and then she goes to her high school the local public high school, in order to do her art schooling. And it's actually a really good art program that she's in. So just it really takes each child's needs and their talents individually into account. So truly appreciate that. We are very blessed. So thank you to Marion County Schools for all that you do. And of course, the Parks and Rec Department for putting on such a great facilitated workshop for these Homeschool Wednesdays. Again, that's at Brick City Park every Wednesday. And then, of course, for those that ask, we are, in fact, doing another home buyers workshop. If you missed the one for January, we are doing another one in February. That's Saturday, February 25th, and it's from 12 to 2 here at our office at 3201 Southwest 34th Avenue, Suite 102. There is absolutely no judgment, but there will be snacks, so feel free to stop in. You do not have to be here for the entire thing. You can kind of come and go as you like, get the information you need, sit down, ask questions. It's just going to be a very relaxed environment where you can get the information that is required to the actual steps to home ownership, no matter where you are in the process. So don't feel bad if you're worried that somebody's going to tell you no. There is no no's at all. There's just maybe not yet. But we actually have information for credit and budgeting and all sorts of stuff. So it's going to be a really great event. We also have some information on the grants that are available. So definitely stop in for that. Maybe you can look into some of the down payment assistance programs. There's even one here in city of Ocala that is called the SHIP program. And I personally know many buyers that have been aided by this. And we love that program. We hope that it continues to grow and get even bigger and better and help more and more families to get into homes that maybe they would have struggled to get into before. So having that available here locally is fantastic. Well, that's it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a fantastic day and that you really enjoy the town and the place that you're in. And if that's here in Ocala, I'm so glad that you are my neighbor. Thanks again. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can